Hello kiddos, Sir ES here, and today we're going to talk about plate boundaries. We have two types of plates, and these are the oceanic plates and continental plates. Let us try to differentiate the two. When we say oceanic plates, these are plates that can be found under the ocean or below the ocean, while continental plates are the plates that can be found below the continents. Additional concept, oceanic plates are much denser as compared to continental plates. This density difference between oceanic and continental plates will be used as we learn the concept of subduction. In one plate will sink under the other, and commonly the one that sinks is the denser. There are three types of plate boundaries. Pag sinabi nating plate boundaries, ito yung area kung saan nagmi-meet ang dalawang plates. The first type of plate boundary is the divergent boundary. When we say divergent boundary, the two plates are moving apart or they are rifting. In other books, it is described as drifting of plates. Naghihiwalay. And we illustrate that using this. When we say divergent boundary, parang ganyan. Naghihiwalay yung dalawang plates or gumagalaw sila palayo sa isa't isa. Rifting, which is happening in divergent boundary, causes seafloor spreading. Dahil dito, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga geologic features tulad ng mid-oceanic ridges, reef valleys, and fissure volcanoes. Ang pinakasikat na ridge sa buong mundo ay ang Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Alam nyo ba na ang Mid-Atlantic Ridge ay nasa pagitan or nasa boundary ng North American Plate and Eurasian Plate? Mid-Atlantic Ridge is very important because this is where expansions happens or the seafloor spreading. When there is seafloor spreading, it means that there are new lands formed. Kaya napakahalaga ng Mid-Atlantic Ridge. And also, this is the area that is being monitored by our scientists to tell how big is the new land formed or how big is the expansion happen in Earth. Another geologic feature that is formed in divergent boundary is the Rift Valley. And the most popular is the Great African Rift Valley. And this is formed as the Nubian Plate is moving away from Somalian Plate. Third geologic feature is the fissure volcano. We define volcano again as a structure that releases magma or contains magma. So it doesn't mean na para matawag natin ang isang structure na volcano ay kailangan mataas ito. There is a type of volcano which has no elevated structure, but it is releasing magma, and this is what we call fissure volcano. This fissure volcano is found in Hawaii, and if you could see, it is releasing magma, and later on it becomes lava. And we form fissure volcano when two plates are moving apart or drifting apart. The second type of plate boundary is called convergent boundary. In convergent boundary, the two plates are colliding. Let us see this illustration. That's it. Nagkakaroon ng banggaan. In convergent boundaries, a lot of geologic features are produced, but it depends on the type of interacting plates. And let us describe them in this slide. Let's start with the oceanic continental. It means that we have oceanic plate and continental plate colliding to each other. And it looks like this. This is the oceanic plate and this is the continental plate. And so they are colliding and they will form the so-called subduction zone. When we say subduction, one plate is sinking under the other. And the one that sinks is the denser plate. And between oceanic and continental, the denser plate is tama, the oceanic plate. Therefore, it is the one moving downward. And when this event happens, the geologic features that are produced are the following: volcanoes and mountains. If you could see in the pictures, there are a lot of volcanoes around the area because, again, since they are converging, some of the areas are moving upward. And so it forms either mountains or volcanoes. Second is oceanic. So we got two oceanic plates interacting to one another. And it looks like this. Same thing, there is the subduction zone. So one of them would sink. Tama. However, since we have two oceanic plates in here, which one will subduct or will sink? It depends on the age of the oceanic plate. And commonly, the one that sinks is the older plate because they are denser than the new oceanic plate. And the geologic feature produced in this interaction are oceanic trenches. But actually, it can also produce volcanoes and mountains under the sea. Kaya naman, totoo na meron talagang volcano sa ilalim ng karagatan. Third is continental. Two continental plates interacting to one another. And it looks like this. For this case, we got collision zone. What happens in here is that the continental plates are folding, and the geologic feature produced in here are folded and truss-faulted mountains. The best example of this is the Himalayas, which is a series or system of mountains. The third type of plate boundary is the transform plate boundary. In here, the two plates are sliding past each other. And it looks like this. Due to the sliding, it produces what we call faults. And we describe faults as any breakage or crack in rocks. And we know that when there are movements of faults, therefore, it would create, tama, strong earthquakes. In the world, the best known is the San Andreas Fault, which is found in California. I also suggest that you watch the movie about San Andreas. In the Philippines, This is our geologic setting. The first question is, to which type of plate boundary our country can be found? The answer is tama. Kung nakikita niyo yung arrow, magbabanggaan sila. So, ibig sabihin, tayo ay nasa convergent boundary. And what are the two plates interacting in this case? Tama ulit. When we try to analyze the picture, we got Eurasian plate interacting with Philippine Sea plate. And again, they are colliding to each other. It is the reason why our country has a lot of trenches and volcanoes. It is because of the interaction between the Eurasian plate and Philippine Sea plate. In the world, these are the different plate boundaries that are interacting to one another. And to sum it up, we got three types of plate boundaries. The first one is the divergent boundary, wherein they are moving away from each other. Convergent boundary, on the other hand, they are colliding to one another or each other. While the third type is the transform plate boundaries, wherein two plates are sliding past one another. And that's it. We are done with our lesson. I hope that you learned something today. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you again in my next Teach Blog. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.